Welcome to the Depresso Expresso podcast, the number one espresso to the Depresso. I'm Rob the Hog.
I'm Dakota.
How you doing, Dakota?
I've been busy. We were talking about this before the recording.
Yeah, what we were talking about before. Yeah.
Feels like I'm in high school again, even though I graduated 2 years ago.
I'm still am in high school. It kind of sucks.
It doesn't get better.
It doesn't get better. Well, I guess it depends. Cause like I'm joining the army right after high school. That so it's gonna be different for me.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a lot different for you. One word of advice for adulting: if you, let's say hypothetically, right, purely hypothetical, you don't join the army, right? Do
Yeah.
not work fast food.
Don't work
Under
fast food.
any, I've worked two fast food jobs. Both of them were hell.
I worked retail for a little while. Cause I worked at Walmart.
Like,
Do not work at Walmart. Walmart sucks.
yeah, don't work at Walmart. Don't work at Chipotle or Subway. I didn't work at Subway, but I worked at Chipotle, and they're basically the same thing.
The didn't you say like it's the Mexican Subway?
It's Mexican Subway, yeah, because not only do you have to handle and make the food, you also have to deal with customers at the same time. Like, make me do one or the other. Don't make me do both. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I can
Well,
work. Like, I think I'd be able to work retail and handle customers, but I can't also handle food at the same time because I don't like. I hate handling food.
yeah. Luckily I am joining the army, so like I don't need to worry about that. I'm mostly gonna be shooting people. So Grand
Yeah.
Theft Auto style, pop out.
Well, you have fun with that.
I'm gonna have lots of fun. Maybe I'll come back with PTSD if I'm lucky.
Ooh, that'd be exciting. Nice change of pace.
It would be a nice change of pace, you know. But yeah. I'm just chilling here, drinking my monster, you know. Bro, apparently people who drink monsters are like Satan worshippers.
I mean, okay, so what? I have a question. What flavor of Monster do you drink? Because this will drastically change my opinion of you.
I do drink originals, but most of the time I drink Pipeline Punch, which is in a pink can.
Acceptable. Because the original tastes like ass sweat, but Pipeline Punch is pretty good. I will give you that. You pass.
Dope. Yeah, Pipeline Punch is my favorite.
Speaking of
You know.
original energy drink flavors, have you ever had just plain Red Bull?
No, actually, I
Shit's
don't drink much Red Bull
garbage. Red Bull is trash. It's more expensive, it tastes worse, and it comes in a smaller can than Monster. Why would you buy Red Bull?
because Red Bull gives you wings.
Fuck wings, dude. I don't give a fuck.
I want to fly. I want to fly,
Buy an
bro.
airplane ticket.
I want to be high. I want, you know,
Buy drugs then. I'm
buy
sure
drugs.
it's cheaper than Red Bull.
Maybe.
You get
I don't
more
know.
you get more out of it at the very least.
Yeah, you would, I guessing. I don't know much about drugs, or I can't admit too much about drugs because of the army.
I mean, I've done drugs before. I don't know much about drugs.
Well, I don't know much. I don't know much. Well, I can't admit too much. You know, little foreshadowing.
If you ask me about heroin, I wouldn't be able to tell you anything because I don't know.
Oh, I know a little bit about heroin, only because I listened to an audiobook, by a book written by Nikki Six. Do you know who he is?
No.
Nikki Six was a band member in the band Molly Crew. Is a rock band,
Okay.
very popular in the 80s and 90s. He was addicted to heroin, and through his addiction, he wrote in this diary, and he published this diary after he got over his addiction in hopes that it would help somebody not become addicted. You
Right.
know, but I listened to that audiobook, and he did some fucked up shit while he was on that, and
Although to be fair, Rob, you don't have to do drugs to know about drugs. You can be educated without actually physically doing them.
Yeah, but I don't think you would know what it's like to be high off of them though. You would know what it does to you.
Yeah, but you won't know what it actually feels like. Cause like I have no interest in doing like hard drugs. The most I'm interested in is doing like regular boring ass prescription and weed. That's as far as I'm willing to go.
Yeah. Um, you know, I haven't done I haven't done anything, wink wink. Um, I don't do anything,
Yeah, of course.
kind of joined the army, so like
And
I
you're a
can't.
minor.
And I'm a minor, so kind of
That's
tricky
like
there.
that's like double illegal.
Double illegal, yeah. And I'm a very good person. I don't do anything illegal.
Okay, I know for a fact that's a lie. Literally everyone has broken at least one law, no matter how mundane.
Oh, I speed. I will admit to that.
Yeah,
I speed a lot.
exactly. Everyone
I speed.
speeds. Fucking everyone
Um,
speeds. If you've ever done a rolling stop, if you've ever sped, you've broken the law. It's really mundane and it's not that enforced, but you've still broken a law.
yeah. I got a speeding ticket before.
I've never
Um,
gotten. I speed, but I've never gotten a speeding ticket before.
I had to pay $350.
Good. How fast were you going?
I'm going 68 and a 45.
Oh my good lord.
Where's 22 over?
I think also there's a difference because where I live,
22.
the PD don't give a fuck about speeding. They don't give a shit. But the second you leave the county, they will get on your ass for going 5 over the limit. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Plus the cop that pulled me over was a dick. A cab.
A cab, yeah.
A cab.
but like the cops in the city don't give a fuck about speeding, but they will get you for other shit. They will find excuses to pull you over. Toward it's really bad towards the end of the month though, because they need to meet their quotas or whatever.
Yeah. I think it's stupid that cops have quotas.
Yeah, they were actively look for shit to pull you over for.
I don't think cops have quotas, even though I do understand why they do, because they gotta make sure they're actually doing the job. But I think the quota is way too high if they actually have to force, like, actively look for people to arrest. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you shouldn't have to actively look to get people in trouble because tickets aren't cheap.
Yeah, they definitely aren't. But me and you had a whole conversation about cops before this podcast.
Oh yeah,
We always have like an hour conversation before we even start the episodes.
we have a pre-podcast for the podcast to like warm up. Basically, it's
That is true. And me personally, I think our pre-podcasts are better than the actual podcast.
honestly, I'm thinking about just like silently starting the recording before those conversations, just to like add in.
And like not tell me.
Yeah,
Wait a sec.
just to see what happened. Obviously, I will cut out anything too personal, but like the conversation, like the weird conversations we sometimes have, I'll leave those in.
Yeah. Who knows? We could get viewers that way.
Who knows, man? Who fucking knows?
Who fucking knows? Yeah. The bad part is we had a conversation planned for this podcast and we haven't been following it whatsoever.
Who cares?
It is what it is. I even tried to transition into it, but you didn't go along with it. So, okay, okay. Our conversation today was supposed to be about conspiracies, and I was going to bring up a conspiracy about monsters, but Dakota here didn't want to, apparently.
Well, I'm sorry.
Dakota,
You know,
Dakota.
I'll do the transition. All right. You want to hear my favorite conspiracy theory?
Yeah,
That
what is it?
that God, what's that one senator from fucking Texas?
I don't know.
God, hold on. I have to look this up right now because it's really annoying me.
Then look it up. I don't pay attention to Texas. Texas is a fucked up state anyway.
Ted Cruz.
But I will say houses there are really cheap compared to other places.
Yeah, because it's fucking huge. So you know Ted Cruz, right?
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer that Ted Cruz is a Zodiac killer
Why is that? I gotta hear this.
because he's fucking creepy. Have you ever heard the man talk? It's so fucking weird. There's no way he is not the Zodiac killer.
You never know. Um, do you think do you think the Zodiac killer is like an actual psychopath or not?
Yes.
You think he is?
I also think Ted Cruz is a psychopath, so it works out.
Um, Now, okay, I think the Zodiac killer is a psychopath, but I think he is a psychopath caused by him being a sociopath, in my opinion.
Mm.
I don't know if you know the difference between the two.
I know,
But,
like, I don't know, like, the the details of each. I know there is a difference. I just don't know what the differences are.
but sociopaths, they can integrate with everyday life and be just fine. Psychopaths usually can't. Psychopaths are people who like doing violent things and don't feel remorse for violent things they do.
Right.
Um, and more like a personality trait, you know.
Right.
Sociopaths, though, is more chemically and more of a chemical imbalance in your brain. And what it is your emotions don't work properly. So you don't feel emotions like everybody else. Which means you can kill people and don't know why it's wrong. You know?
Right.
Um
I
some
mean,
sociopaths don't have any emotions.
it's kind of hard to tell which one's more dangerous. The person who is just generally crazy, like the sociopath, or someone who can blend in. Honestly, I think that might be more dangerous if they have
Um
sociopathic traits but can blend in easily.
most serial killers that most serial killers that don't get caught or was very hard to catch are sociopaths
I believe it.
because sociopaths usually are very smart, very smart.
Yeah, I believe it. Like, I don't know this for sure, and I don't feel like using Google again. But I wouldn't be surprised if someone like Ted Bundy was a sociopath.
He was, um,
Yeah, that
he
I
was,
figured that because that dude was fucking insane.
he was crazy intelligent. Um,
Most like serial killers are like your random murderer on the street most likely isn't, but like proper serial killers typically are.
yeah. Um, Now there are some sociopaths who become psychopaths because they're sociopath. Because I told you that sociopaths, their emotions don't work properly. So a lot of times what gets them off is something that evicts strong emotion. That's why they develop kinks to killing. They might like killing.
Right.
They will sometimes rape people because of lust. They'll do things that evict strong emotion. And killing somebody does evict a strong emotion. And a lot of times they'll cling on to that because it'll make them feel something.
Like that kind of shit is so fucked up. Cause like I don't like personally I don't have a whole lot of empathy towards other people. However, like the idea of getting off and having pleasure from doing horrific shit to other people is just insane to me.
Yeah,
Like okay, let me rephrase that. I wouldn't say I don't have a lot of empathy. I don't have a lot of empathy for people I don't know, but I wouldn't like I don't have a desire to hurt people. You know what I mean?
yeah, you don't want to hurt people.
I
Um,
just don't feel bad for them. You know?
Now the only times I'll feel bad is when something very
Hmm.
horrific happens to them.
Right.
Then I'm like, wow. Like if they get tortured and killed,
Yeah. If someone
or
gets Ted Bundy, I'm gonna be like, holy shit, that's awful. But I don't.
yeah,
But if it's just like a regular crime that doesn't get a lot of publicity, like if someone gets robbed or um, just I guess just robbed in general. It's just really stuff like that. I don't really feel bad necessarily. I mostly feel bad for people for victims of assault mostly.
Yeah. I also feel bad for domestic violence victims.
Right.
Because a lot of times they get not only physically abused but emotionally too. Um, and that's just a mind fuck, you know.
And sometimes emotion, like I'm not saying that this isn't like all the time. Obviously, there are nuances in different situations, but there's a good portion of the time that mental abuse is worse than the physical abuse.
Yes, I I agree with you there, definitely. It's fucked. A lot of things
Cause
are
like a lot,
fucked.
I don't know the statistics, but I read somewhere that a lot of like there's a not I don't think it's the majority of people who are mentally abused, but a good enough portion to be concerned become abusers themselves, just because that's all they know.
That only know, yeah. A lot of people who was abused as kids will become abusers themselves.
Oh yeah,
And then, but sometimes they don't because they know what it's like. But other times they do because that's all they know.
most people who are abused don't, but there is um a portion of them that do, and it's big enough to be concerned about.
Yeah, definitely. Um, and that's why I think we need to help our mental health system. To help these the abused, the victims
Yeah,
with all this.
like speaking from my personal experience, I haven't been abused. I just want to make that clear. I have not been abused mentally or physically in my life. However, I can say for a fact that mental health in America is not great, or like mental health help is not great in America. We need to get that shit fixed. We need to
It
sort it out somehow.
definitely, it definitely needs to be fixed, for sure. Um, Now I'm not going to get into what my experience with mental kind of kind of abuse, and not like too severe, but I'm not going to get into all that
Of
from my
course,
old stepdad.
you. Of course, no one's asking you
You know.
to. If you don't want to get into that, you're under no obligation to.
Yeah, there are some people though that will like force information out of you,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's personal. And
Right,
to
but it's
me,
like that. The your experiences, the way you go through, that is your story to tell. If you don't want to tell it, that's fine. You like I don't know your story, but even if I did, it's not my place to tell it.
yeah, definitely. Now there are some stories I will tell, um, that I experienced, but not like mental stories, more like crazy stories like, bro, that just happened. You
Right.
know. That I'm gonna say that a lot, say stories like that a lot in the podcast. Like I just found out some crazy shit today.
Like
Um
what?
I can't name drop.
Of course.
Um I, I can't name drop because the people we're talking about is people in high power. Um but my old boss brother
Well, of
is,
course, you don't need that. We don't want to dox anybody.
yeah. But my old bosses, 'cause I used to work for a roofing company.
Right.
My my old boss's brother is somebody at a very high position of power. Um, and this person stole marijuana from an evidence locker, gave it to his sister, and she was a big pot dealer.
Jesus.
Yeah, and I knew my boss personally, was Thane. I went to her house before. I helped her with stuff. I knew her personally. No legal action have been taken from them, and there is a little bit of public information about this. I should know a little more about it than what the public knows because I know him personally.
Right.
Um, but even though there is public information out, I'm not going to name drop him
Of course.
because,
Like
like I
like like
said,
And like I said, we
This,
don't want to dox anybody,
yeah,
regardless whether or not, regardless of what crimes they committed. We do not want to dox anybody.
yeah, for sure. But like I said, this person is in a high position of power. So if information gets out about him, bad stuff can happen.
You know a lot more exciting people than I do. So
I have connections off the ass.
yeah, I don't. The most um, so the closest thing I know of, not nearly like to that high of a power, but and it's a lot more mundane. Like my middle school vice principal got arrested 3 different times for a DUI, like a year after I left.
Wow.
And this is less mundane, but my eighth grade uh, tech tech shop teacher, like my technical class teacher, I forgot what it was specifically called, but he
Yeah.
was arrested for possession of of a minor pornography.
Wow.
He wasn't eighth grade. He was a sixth grade teacher. Yeah,
That's fucked. That is fucked. I hate pedophiles. I hate
yeah.
pedophiles.
I'm not gonna name drop him either. One, because I don't remember his name, and two, like that would tell people where I went to school, and I don't want that.
Yeah, I don't want people knowing exactly where I'm from either.
Like
Um,
I've already mentioned several times online that I'm in Georgia, but Georgia's a big state, and I've never mentioned the city, let alone the schools I went to.
yeah. By the way, if this gives you the guy I was talking about, if it gives you any sense of how powerful the kind of position this guy was in, this guy met Obama before he became president.
Good
Like had
lord.
dinner with him. Yeah. I mean, he in high power in a public office. That's why I'm not name dropping him.
Yeah, that's probably smart.
He's in yeah, he's in a high power in a public office. So I kind of don't want to fuck with
Yeah, that's a good move. I'm gonna be honest.
that. Yeah. Um, it's crazy though. I have a lot of interesting stories. You know, one of my good friends went insane right in front of me. Um, of course, I know some tea on the guy, powerful dude. Um, a lot interesting shit happened to me.
The most I don't know if I call it interesting or concerning or divine intervention, but so I went to public school for high school, for 9th and 10th grade. I left in October during my 11th grade year, so like October 2017, right?
Yeah.
A week after I left, a kid came to school with a weapon and was met. So he made a threat on Snapchat, and he was met at the school by like 6 cop cars, and they found a gun in his backpack.
Wow.
Yeah,
Um.
I'm like holy. And like my friend at the time, he called me like after the school was open. It's like, you know the dude that we were friends with in freshman year. I'm like, yeah. Yeah, he just got arrested. I'm like, what? What the fuck?
But that reminds me of my math teacher. Sophomore year, I had this math teacher. Well, I'm in band in my school, and I was in a summer band camp thing at my school. And then cops came to the school and told everybody get out. This was in between my sophomore and junior year. They told everybody get out, and we all got out and went home. Come to find out, they're having a investigation for my sophomore math teacher who was a pedophile.
How long ago was this?
Oh, I'm a senior now. It was in between sophomore and junior year,
Oh shit.
so a couple years. It wasn't that long ago, and
I
yeah,
remember one time in I want to say it was 7th grade. We went to a full school lockdown because there was a bank robbery like 2 blocks away.
wow. Yeah. Now
Because so there was a walkway that led from so my the middle school I went to was very long, and and the cafeteria was over by so the cafeteria was on the far left side of the school by the sixth grade uh classes, and I was in the seventh grade classes were in the middle, which is where I had to go. So I would walk outside to get to my classes, right? They're
yeah.
like, under no circumstances are you allowed to go outside, and they didn't tell us why. And I found out like a week later that there was a fucking bank robbery, like not that far away. Who robs a bank nowadays?
Robbing a bank low key sounds fun.
Like if you can pull it off, that sounds badass. But how do you rob a bank in the modern day? There's so much
Um,
security.
that is true. There is a lot of security. Shoot. Yeah, there is a lot of security.
Like
Um,
how is it even physically possible to rob a bank nowadays? I don't know.
I think you going to need a little bit of inside help probably.
Oh, absolutely.
And
There's
you
no
never
way
know
you do that
nowadays.
shit by yourself on the fly.
Yeah, that's true. Now I know I said I won't name drop people, but I really do want to name drop this pedophile from my school only because he's a pedophile. But I can't because then that would give away my location.
Yeah, that's the main like the name drop itself for a pedophile isn't bad, but it's the fact that you still go to that school, correct?
Yeah,
That would give people your location. That's the main
yeah.
issue.
But I do want to name drop him because he's a pedophile and I hate pedophiles.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like honestly, legitimately, pedophilia is one of the worst crimes you can possibly commit. I don't like children, right? I think they're disgusting, vile creatures. However, you should not harm them. They are
No, you don't harm.
children.
Yeah, they're children. They can't help themselves.
Like that's exactly why you shouldn't harm them. They can't defend themselves, first of all.
Yeah. Now I will say, in some situations of so-called pedophilia, it's still bad, but not as bad. Like a
Ex-
20-year-old fucking a 17-year-old. That's
okay,
not as bad.
so it depends on when the relationship started because there are Romeo and Juliet laws.
Yeah. Um. Now prisoners, I know prisoners. They call pedophiles.
Prisoners fucking hate pedophiles.
They call them chomos, and they fucking hate chomos.
Yeah,
But
like they fucking hate pedos, and it's great.
when it comes down to it, though, if you're 20 and you fuck a 17-year-old, they ain't gonna get too mad at you.
Yeah, like
If you fuck
I.
a 12-year-old,
Oh yeah,
you're gonna
absolutely.
get the shit.
So
You're gonna get your shit walked.
I think 20-year-old getting together with a 17-year-old, they shouldn't. I'm just saying. I'm not saying the 20-year-old should be. This is thin ice we're walking on here.
This
Um,
is thin
I don't
ice.
think a 20-year-old should be getting together with a 17-year-old. Wait 1 year until they're 18.
Yeah,
The
but
punishment shouldn't be as harsh, but I still think you should be at least somewhat condemned. At the very least, socially, minimum. You shouldn't
did
just be
he?
able to get away with it scot free.
You know what happened with the fucking Call Me Carson
Yeah,
skit?
that shit upset me so much because Carmen Carson was so funny. And it was very
I know.
disappointing.
I was disappointed in him, but he was 19 with a 17-year-old. That is only 2 years. The main thing that got me was that he did abuse his power.
That was my main issue with it. Was the grooming.
Yeah, but the age difference didn't really bother me.
So here,
'Kay, It
it
it was only 2 years.
19 and 17 is fine to me, but if you're above teens, you should not be dating it. You should not be dating anyone under 18. Like
Yeah,
I'm 20 and I will not date anyone under the age of 20. It doesn't matter if they're 19. I would maybe a 19-year-old if they're close to getting 20, but I would not date an 18-year-old or below. Like,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
You know, in most states, the age of consent is 17.
Yeah, but that doesn't make it right.
Yeah. There's a joke that a funny joke. 17 is the best year of your life because you can go for younger and older.
Dude, 17 was absolutely not the best year of my life. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah. What was the best year of your life?
Oh god. Um shit, probably 18. 18 or 19.
Trying to remember the best year of my life. I think it'll probably be the summer of 2017. Probably was the best moment I had. I had lots of fun, and I was hanging out with friends. It was so
You
fucking
know what's
fun.
really ironic? 2017 was one of the worst years for me. Like 2017 and 2020 were the two worst years for me.
2020 definitely been the worst. No, there is no doubt in my mind.
I'm not counting the pandemic. Um Even though that definitely didn't help. But in 2017, um I started failing my classes in high school junior year. My granddad died. I transferred schools. I was going through a rough time. 2017 is really when my mental health took a nosedive.
Yeah. Um, it's no. What got me about 2020? What really tipped me off? I know you're not a big sports fan, but when Kobe died.
No, okay, so when Kobe died, I was I wasn't I was upset about Kobe dying, but I was really upset about his daughter.
Oh yeah, Diana. It's sad.
That's what upset me the most personally was his daughter, just because she was
Well,
so young.
Diana's so young and she has so much going for her.
Exactly.
Bro, I seen Diana play basketball, and she was a baller. She was really good. Now, her dad was one of the best players of the NBA, but
Yeah,
she was really good. Um, but Kobe was a big part of my childhood. Because I love sports. That what got me about Kobe. Kobe
yeah.
was a
Like
big part.
it really shocked me. Like I was not expecting that in the slightest.
See, even non
I don't think anyone was.
it even affected non-sports fans. That was crazy about it.
I think it affected everyone.
Everybody knew Kobe.
Like for me, I've never watched an entire sports game ever, and it hit me. You know.
Well, because like when we were younger and we always shoot a basketball or shoot a paper ball into a trash can, we would say Kobe.
Yeah,
You know,
just whenever you should do something like Kobe,
I know. And then Kobe died, and
and
I
then it
still
hit and
can't.
like it then it hits you like, oh fuck, the Kobe is gone.
Yeah, the Kobe.
Yeah, you know
It's
he's
crazy.
the there's not a Kobe, he's the Kobe. He's iconic.
Yeah,
Even if you
he
don't like
is
sports,
iconic.
he's iconic.
Yeah, and I like sports, and I love Kobe. I I play Kobe in 2K every moment I can. Basketball game.
Yeah, like
I play him every chance I get because it's Kobe.
as I said before, I don't like sports. I'm not a sports fan, but I respect them. You know, I can respect them.
And Kobe was a good person on and off the court.
Like
You know.
I don't yeah like I can respect the person without being a fan of what they do. You know.
Yeah. Um. Kobe donated so much money to charity and all that too. He was a good person. He was intimidating as hell, but he was a good person. Bro, nobody. I seen this one time. I don't know. I know you don't know much about basketball, but when somebody makes a basket, the other team goes behind the sideline and have to pass it in. Um, Kobe was guarding the person who was passing it in, and the person almost threw it at his face, and he didn't flinch one bit. It was badass.
Just doesn't even blink.
He didn't though. He said, looked at him like, really, bit? Did you really try that?
He's probably seen worse. Like really? Come on now.
Bro, okay, you know who Kevin Hart is?
Yeah.
The comedian?
Yeah.
Bro, Kevin Hart, back in his teenage days, he wanted to go into the NBA. He went to the basketball camp that Kobe was also went to the basketball camp. And I think Kevin Hart and Kobe was around the same age. Um, and the coach of this camp was getting onto everybody because they were doing so bad. And then the coach pointed at Kobe, who was balling everybody up. Pointed at Kobe. It was like, be more like Kobe here. He came to this camp only to work on his left hand. Literally. He was balling everybody up with one hand. That's crazy.
I don't know how you get that good at basketball because I played basketball before. I'm shit.
Now, I'm pretty good when it comes to defense and stealing passes. I'm really good at that kind of stuff. I'm also sort of good at layups.
God, I'm
But,
god awful at basketball.
yeah. Well, I like sports you don't. I bet you can beat me almost any game, though. Video games.
Oh yeah, I could kick your ass.
You'll kick my ass. Because I don't play video games much.
Yeah, it all depends on how we grew up.
Yeah, I'm a big sports fan. I love sports.
Like
Um,
sports have never like interested me, you know? Like I never understood the appeal.
yeah, some people don't. I love it. But I also think that one of the reasons why there's so much political conflict too during the pandemic is because people who would put that rivalry in sports switched it to politics.
Because like
I
during the pandemic, there's nothing else for people to do, so more people paid attention to politics.
yeah,
Because especially early on, a lot of sports were canceled. So the only thing that was consistently happening was politics, as politics never stop.
yeah. And I don't care if you like sports or not, there is no denying that sports has a huge impact in America.
Yeah,
Um so without sports, people didn't know what to do with themselves. So they moved to politics, and that made it so much worse.
that's kind of the sad part though, because like it just goes to show that like uh America in general, like the general population, don't do anything besides work and watch sports.
Yeah, but
That's all they do.
I will say sports in other countries are still a big deal, but different sports.
Sports are a
So
big deal like globally. It's like you just said, soccer is like absurdly popular worldwide.
worldwide, soccer is more popular than football is. American
It's the
football.
most popular sport in the world, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Um. It's just American culture though almost completely revolves around sports.
Yeah.
You know.
Like if I cuz I don't really think that there is a quote unquote American culture just cuz there's so many different cultures in America. You can split up the country into like 20 million different parts and they'd all be unique. But
Yeah.
if you had to define America, I'd say sports.
That is one thing I do love about America is our diversity.
Yeah.
Now how we handle that diversity is a whole nother story. But I do like our diversity. Um,
Honestly, I do kind of like the fact that there is no one American quote unquote culture. That it's a melting pot. There's so many different types of cultures here. You can go to different parts of America and it'd be like you're in a different country entirely. It's great.
yeah, definitely. I want to travel a lot. Um, that is one of my goals in life. Is to like travel all over the country, then visit all of the world. Because I love seeing new cultures.
Yeah, because like if you went to Georgia where I live, even in just in Georgia, if you went to like Atlanta, Columbus, Savannah, all of them have very different cultures. Or if you went to New York, L.A., Seattle, Chicago, they're all completely different.
And what's weird is in America, Our main language is English, but there are like 5 different ways to speak it here.
Oh yeah,
There's Southern, New Yorker, Northern, Western, Eastern. Um, they're a mix between different ways. It's fucked.
yeah. Like for me, like I don't. I'm from the South. I've lived in Georgia for almost 21 years now, and I did. Would you say I have a Southern accent?
Not really.
Like there are certain words that sound more Southern than others. Like when I say Georgia, um, but for the most part, I've heard my accent described as like Midwestern light.
Yeah.
Cause my
Now
mom's
here,
cause my mom's from Pennsylvania.
yeah. Here's a question. How would you describe my accent?
Um, Midwestern,
Midwestern?
like not like Canadian bordered Midwestern because that's a very unique accent, but Midwestern accent is a very generic American accent.
Yeah.
That's
The
kind
thing
of
is,
that's it's similar to what I have, except my voice is deeper.
the thing is, my speech impediment is severe enough to where some people think it's a whole nother accent.
Yeah, my
And it's funny. It's funny when I go to like Casey's or some gas station. They're like, "Hey, where are you from?" I'm like, "Here." They're like, "Where are your family from? You have this accent on you." And I'm like, "It's a speech impediment." And the
I
looks on their faces is so funny.
because of the way I used to, I've gotten better about it, but it still comes out every now and then. There have been people at school who thought I was British because of the way I pronounce my R's.
I mostly get Irish or Scottish.
Whenever I say British, like British, that's kind of like how they say it.
Yeah. Um, I mostly get accused of being Irish or Scottish, which both of us are a little bit Scot Irish.
Yeah, I mean it's not too far off, but we aren't from Ireland, you know.
We're not
Like
from Ireland, but our ancestors was.
yeah, like my last name is Irish. That doesn't mean I haven't even been to Ireland, even though my last name is Irish. That doesn't
Okay,
really
hold
mean
on, hold on.
anything.
Your last name is Scottish, not Irish.
I
I
don't
had people,
care.
I had people get mad because I said the last name. My last name ain't, but my mom's maiden name. I said it's Irish, so I know that it's Scottish, and they get mad.
You
Apparently,
see,
there's some.
you see the things though. I know, but I really like pissing people off who actually give a shit about semantics.
Well, apparently, Irish and Scottish have beef for some reason.
Dude, you can choose Wales, England, Scotland, Ireland, Northern Ireland. They all got beef with each other, and I don't give a shit about any of it because they're all disgusting Britbongers. Like I don't care.
Yeah,
They're all Irish to me for all I care. To me they don't even exist.
they
The
don't exist.
the England isn't real, Scotland isn't real, Ireland isn't real. It doesn't matter. They're all fake.
They're all fake.
Yeah, there are people, not a place. Like the
That's
British
funny.
Isles do not physically exist.
Yeah. Wow. That's funny. Um, if you
That's
could go
that's
to
another
any.
conspiracy for you.
Oh yeah, we're supposed to be talking about the conspiracies.
Yeah,
We're over.
that the
We're,
British don't exist, and neither does Wyoming. Also gonna add that one, and Wyoming doesn't exist.
yeah, Wyoming doesn't
It's just
exist.
a void.
But we're halfway through the podcast and we haven't even started on the main topic.
We're at 45 minutes.
What?
It,
That's
it,
funny.
it doesn't matter. We talked about conspiracy theories. It doesn't matter.
We talked about them a little.
It flows more naturally this way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We might touch up on conspiracies in a later episode. You
Yeah.
know.
It's not like we have to like move on entirely. We can go more in depth later on.
Yeah. You know. Maybe it's good that we didn't go on conspiracies. Cause I may or may not be a part of the Illuminati. So
Ah, you're not allowed to confirm it yet. You're under a NDA. Non-disclosure agreement.
Yeah, I can't confirm nor deny.
I
You know,
gotcha.
I told you I have connections, so you can
That
infer
is
it.
true. You did say you have connections. You didn't say what kind of
I
connections.
didn't say what kind of connections, so you never know.
Yeah. I can see that. You know,
Who knows?
I'm gonna respect your NDA.
Who knows? Joe Biden might be my baby daddy. You never know.
Oh God, is that how the Illuminati works? You get a baby daddy?
And more like an initiation.
Ah, of course.
You have to get one of the older members to be your baby daddy. Oh shit! I've gained way too much information. If I'm not here tomorrow, you know why.
Yeah, you're gonna break your NDA if you talk any more about it.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. What is your favorite conspiracy?
Oh God, my favorite conspiracy.
Yeah,
Um, my mind went completely blank. The first one that comes to mind, it's less of I don't know if you could like Bigfoot, right? Like
yeah.
I heard theories that Bigfoot was a real animal that existed but is now extinct.
Bro, I think the same thing about dragons.
Right? Because like yeah, like dragons. I believe I don't know if dragon. I don't think either way if dragons. I think they could have existed, but I don't think
Well,
either way. I think
there's
it's
religions
possible.
there's religions and cultures that never was connected that had dragons in it.
Yeah, that's the wild part for me. But when it comes to Bigfoot, Bigfoot is a giant monkey. That's all. It's a giant ape. So it is definitely plausible that it existed at some point and is now extinct.
Okay, this point. Okay, you said moved into the next topic here. Who gonna win? Godzilla or King Kong?
Godzilla.
I'm sorry, I'm on King Kong's side.
Godzilla is a nuclear lizard.
Hon. It's like, okay, hear me out here. Big monkey. What do you gotta say about
Lizard
that?
that shoots lasers.
No. Big monkey.
Man, fuck
Come
your
on.
monkey.
No. Big monkey. You're not understanding my point here. Big monkey.
I've never been so upset by a movie opinion.
Big monkey, dude. Big monkey.
We when the movie comes out, we gotta come to some sort of agreement about who's gonna win. We gotta make some sort of bet.
Yeah, fine. I will make a bet. If Godzilla wins, I will wear a maid outfit.
I don't know if I want to see you in a maid outfit.
No,
How
I'll
about
make a.
how about this?
Okay, for
I
all the listeners out
if
there, for
so
all our
if
listeners.
hold on, but
Huh,
let me cut you off real quick.
okay.
I'm gonna reverse it. If King Kong wins, I will wear the maid outfit.
Okay. Now, all our listeners out there know whoever loses is going to wear a maid outfit. They're going to be expecting it.
And I will post it online.
I will too. I will. Now,
Because we said it publicly, we are going to be held accountable. I will use my tax return money and or my stimulus check money to buy a maid outfit if need be.
yes,
Oh wait,
I
I'm gonna look up when the movie comes out.
yeah. But Big
King
Monkey, what are you
Kong
going to do?
versus Godzilla. When does it come out?
But okay, if you want a legitimate argument for King Kong, here's a legitimate
March
argument.
31st.
Okay, yeah. Um, now if you want an actual argument, God, I think King Kong is definitely stronger in pure strength.
Mm.
Um, and it and Godzilla does have that radioactive laser beam, but it takes him a while to charge it up.
This is true.
If King Kong that goes complete rage and beats the shit out of Godzilla, King Kong will win.
So I think there are two distinct possibilities. One, King Kong is going to get his ass kicked by Godzilla, or two, neither one of them is going to win, and it's going to end in the tie. I don't see King Kong winning either way.
I think King Kong will win. Okay, honestly, what I actually think gonna happen that gonna be a tie because there's gonna be so much backlash no matter the outcome. Um, so I think the directors are just gonna make it a tie.
If it's a tie, I'm probably just gonna get the maid outfit anyway because I still technically lost the bet because Godzilla didn't win.
If it's a tie, we both win the maid outfit.
Yeah, if it's a tie, we both wear it because not because neither one of we both lost
Yeah, we both we
because
lost.
they're both losers at that point.
Yeah. Um.
All right, we just hit 52 minutes. You want to start wrapping it up?
Yeah. So we can wrap it up. Wrap it before you tap it.
Yep, wrap it before you tap it. That's we're gonna leave off with that message. Just wrap it before you tap it.
Yeah, that is the inspirational quote of the day. Wrap it before you tap it. Okay, this was the Depresso Expresso podcast. I'm Rob the Hog.
I've been Dakota.
Peace out, guys.
Hashtag Team Godzilla.